You could hear me, and now you can hear me. Hello and good evening. I'm Hugh Keeton here in the WLOX digital desk. Thanks for joining us here. We are following multiple breaking news developments that have been happening across South Mississippi today. First of all, wildfires are they are in all three of the coastal counties, Jackson, Harrison, and Hancock County. Taking a look here, this is a live look in Harrison County and the Wool Market area. You do see it is dark, so it's hard to see, but you see a little smoke out there as fire crews have really had trouble fighting these fires across the area. Taking a look now, this is in Jackson County. Here you can see those flames just raging there in Jackson County. This is in Moss Point area, and it is safely contained tonight after fire crews were battling the blaze for several hours. But you can see there it was a dangerous situation with the smoke coming up, and when you're close to it, you can see those flames right there. The fire took place earlier this afternoon on Kings Road, where smoke could be seen on the interstate heading into Moss Point around 6. The fire was 80% contained and burned over 200 acres. At one point, the fire had reignited and jumped behind a resident's house, but that was quickly put out by fire officials before getting to the home there. One witness told us that when they saw the huge cloud of smoke in their backyard, it was a surreal experience. Jacoby Rivers was there covering the fire, and he spoke to that witness. And here's the conversation, or the first part of the conversation Jacoby had with the witness that lived really close to where this fire was.
Tell me a little bit of your reaction when you first saw this plume of smoke right behind us right now.
I mean, I'm a little scared, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't, want anything to happen over here. And it was just crazy. Like, I was literally asleep, and my sister-in-law called us and was like, hey, are y'all okay? There's a big fire going on, and we came out here and it was crazy.
So there you go, and that's how quickly it can happen, as the witness described, just coming out of their house and seeing so much smoke and being afraid for what could potentially happen. Thankfully, the fire did not, it was contained before getting really that close to their home, but they could certainly see it out there. Also in Hancock County, fire crews having their hands full. Taking a look now, this is in Hancock County. This is an area northeast of Diamond Head. This is close to the Harrison County line. You might be able to see this smoke. You've been driving on the interstate this afternoon. You saw the smoke taken from a distance. Now you're getting a really close look at this fire in Hancock County. This video was sent to us by the Emergency Management Agency there. They sent us 4 videos from the fires, and you can see how difficult it is to work on those, but the crews are doing what they can. This is a fire that actually started a couple of days ago, and the crews have been, their work has been going in and out. They've been able to contain, but then it'll pick back up. So it's been an ongoing process for a couple of days. The flames here are around Road 366. And these flames actually were threatening a small apartment complex, but nevertheless, things do look like they're pretty well under control tonight, but it is a situation to keep a close eye on as we go in through the night and into the weekend, as no rain is expected this weekend. So we'll have to wait and see how these fires go. The crews are going to have to continue looking over them and seeing what they can do to keep them under control and contained. So we'll be watching those fires and how they develop through the weekend. Also, we've been watching tonight this situation in Hancock County on the interstate as a bus crashed earlier this afternoon. It happened about 3 o'clock in the westbound lanes of Hancock County, just around the Bay St. Louis exit there is where it happened, and we're taking a look now. This is the first time that anyone has seen this drone video of the crash, just after the crash. There you see the bus that was involved in the crash, and you see a group of people there out on the grass. Those were the passengers inside that bus when it crashed, and we have since learned that those are students at the University of South Carolina. They were in a fraternity going from South Carolina to New Orleans for fraternity parties happening this weekend, and this crash happened before they're able to get to New Orleans, obviously, in Hancock County. And this is what we're learning about the crash. We just got this release moments ago. These have been details that we've been reporting throughout the day and throughout the night, but this is the official statement from the Mississippi Highway Patrol on what happened here. So around 3 o'clock, the Highway Patrol responded to a multiple injury crash on the interstate in Hancock County, and it was a motor coach bus, and it was out of South Carolina. It was driven by a 55-year-old bus driver, Tina Wilson, from South Carolina. The bus was traveling west on the interstate when it collided with a center concrete barrier. And you've been able to see that barrier here from some of these shots from the drone. And the bus was carrying 56 students from the University of South Carolina, as I said, who were going to New Orleans. And there were 11 injuries reported in the crash. 9 of those students were taken to a local hospital by ambulance. The driver of the bus and another student were airlifted from the scene and were told they are in critical condition tonight. So that's where we stand right now. 9 students were taken to a local hospital with injuries, but the driver and another student were airlifted and are in critical condition tonight. We just learned about that. The remaining students at the crash site who were not taken to the hospital were transported by Bay St. Louis Public School District buses to a nearby school building where they arranged for further transportation to get to their destination in New Orleans. So that's where it stands right now. And I'm going to pull up on a map to show you, and we're going to check the traffic to see how it's going also tonight to see if the traffic is moving once again. I believe the scene was cleared earlier and the traffic should be moving okay. I'm pulling up that map right now so we can see. And now I'm going to take that for you to see as well. So right now, the traffic on the interstate, according to the MDOT traffic maps, is moving fine with no trouble there in Hancock County, as the wreck happened just past the Bay St. Louis exit, which is in this area here before Stennis Space Center. And it's good to see that the scene is cleared now, several hours after it happened at 3 o'clock. It did take a while to get it cleared, but traffic is moving there tonight with no problem. Now, our WLOX reporter Stephanie Poole was out there. She was out there for several hours after this crash, and she was able to speak to Cal Hutchinson with the Mississippi Highway Patrol and also the Chief of Police from Bay St. Louis about what happened. And here is her interview with both the Highway Patrol representative and the Chief of Police from Bay St. Louis.
Here we discovered there were 56 students that were on board this charter bus, and out of those numbers, 11 of those were injured, and 2 were critical, was life flighted from the scene, one of those being ejected from the vehicle. So right now we're working on getting the crash bus from the scene, but our #1 priority right now also is the students. We have school buses here from Bay St. Louis School District. We'll be moving them from the scene to a facility in Bay St. Louis where they can get air conditioning, use a bathroom, and also we have to get their stuff from this bus to the new bus. So we're also in the process of lining up new transportation to get them to where they need to go.
It immediately caused the bus to go out of control. The bus driver, she essentially, according to what students said, stood on that steering wheel with every ounce of energy to keep that steering wheel straight. This started coming over the bridge, over the river, and coming down the slope. We have skid marks of this bus out of control for over half a mile going down the interstate, out of control. So once that bus at some point, all the wheels on one side of the bus lifted up into the air, it was riding on one side of the bus. Okay, the bus driver brought it back down from falling on its side. It came down with such a hard impact, it shattered the front windshield, ejected the bus driver. The bus is still moving. Now it's on all wheels on the ground, still moving out of control without a driver. So heroically, the second hero of the day, a young man, a student with the Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity, Paul Clune, grabs that steering wheel and regains control of the bus until it came to a final stop.
So Bay St. Louis Chief of Police Toby Swartz describing in detail there what happened, or what they believe happened with this bus crash, as we will show you once again the drone video of the aftermath of the crash. And from what he said, the police chief said, so the bus started going out of control. The bus driver did everything she could to get it back under control, but in that process, she was actually ejected from the bus. We've now learned she has critical injuries in the hospital. When that happened, a student from South Carolina, who's in part of this fraternity, going to New Orleans, he tried his best to get the bus under control, and according to the police chief, he was able to manage to at least bring the bus to a stop, and it came to a stop here at this location you see on the interstate. And the people you see all around the bus there, they are students from South Carolina, part of this trip with school going to New Orleans, and they were all having to, not only did they have to get the bus out of the way, they had to figure out how to get all of the students relocated somewhere else. And so they brought in some school buses from Hancock County to take those students to different locations to try to move them on with their trip. And those students also had to figure out how to get all of their things. There you see them taking some of their luggage and bags off the bus, and that's what happened. Just an incredible scene there. And tonight we've just gotten also a statement from the University of South Carolina, where these students on the bus were from. The statement says the University of South Carolina was informed tonight of an accident in Mississippi involving a charter bus carrying South Carolina fraternity members and their guests traveling to an event in New Orleans. The university is working closely with authorities on the scene to obtain updates on our students and to assist in whatever capacity we can. And the university statement says our thoughts go out to the students involved in the accident and those affected by it. But from what we've just told you, this could have been much worse if it was not for actions from, first of all, the bus driver when the bus started getting out of control, and also that student who stepped in and did his best to bring the bus to a stop. So that's what we know about this issue, this crash right now, and we'll bring you the latest update as well tonight on the WLOX News at 10 o'clock. You can also find out more about what happened and continue to read, and we'll update you as it goes on WLOX.com. There you see the article with the headline, 11 injured, 2 listed in critical condition after the charter bus carrying South Carolina students wrecks on the interstate. You can also find updates on the fires across South Mississippi there on that story. Multiple wildfires still raging across the coast. So that's where things stand with these breaking news developments that we are continuing to follow tonight here at WLOX. Also, it is opening night for the Biloxi Shuckers in downtown Biloxi. And let's take a look now at the score to see how the Shuckers are doing against the Montgomery Biscuits in the opening game of the season. Refresh it. Make sure I get the updated score for you. Well, not going well for the Shuckers, losing right now 7-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning, as this is the first game of the season for the Shuckers. They'll continue the series against the Biscuits throughout the weekend. Also, after this game tonight, fireworks will be happening at the ballpark, so if you hear loud rumbles of what sounds like maybe thunder, it's going to be fireworks from the stadium whenever the game concludes. Also, the weekend looks great for you if you're planning to get outside and do anything. And let me bring up the forecast that you can always find on WLOX.com and the WLOX weather app. You see that highs in the mid-70s, a lot of sunshine through the weekend. It is a fantastic weekend to get outside and enjoy yourself. This is spring on full display. We'll say 0% chance of rain through the weekend. Of course, as we're watching those wildfires, the limited chances of rain, that's not good there in terms of containing those fires. But if you just want to enjoy yourself, it is a good weekend to be outside. And you can always find something to do on GulfCoastWeekend.com. You can find always a list of activities there. Also, we have the eclipse coming up on Monday. You can find some events happening this weekend and on Monday. If you want to gather with other people watching the eclipse, you can find the places to do that here in South Mississippi as well. And also you can find click on things to do, and we have a calendar of events. Easter egg hunts. Easter's over, so we got to take that off the page there. Looking at the calendar for tomorrow to seeing what's going on, there's going to be a full list of events coming up. Oh, this is a great event in Pass Christian. I saw the vendors out there setting up for the Arts Festival, the Pass Market at War Memorial Park. They're going to have a big crowd out there. That's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow in Pass Christian, and a beautiful day to do it. So that's what's happening here in South Mississippi. Thanks for joining us here on the WLOX Digital Desk, and we hope you have a great weekend. I'm Hugh Keeton. See you next time.